Welcome to an Econ Moment with Dr. Greg Evans. In this lecture, we are going to talk about opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is the value of the best alternative foregone when making a choice. Opportunity cost is a very important topic in economics, as it is a key concept behind decision making. Whenever we make a decision, we are choosing between at least two options. This is because we live in a world of scarcity. If it wasn't for scarcity, we wouldn't have to make a choice in the first place. When we make that choice, we are deciding between alternatives, and to make that decision, we need to understand the value of the different alternatives. If we don't understand the value of our alternatives, then we risk making a bad decision. When I worked for a bank, we had a rule that a project was not to be undertaken unless it promised a return of at least 18%. Initially, I thought that was strange. If I had a project that would return 17%, did it really make sense not to do it? I mean, it is returning a positive cash flow, and a 17% return is pretty darn good. The problem arises because the bank is using invested funds to pay for the project, and the investors have a desired return for their funds. If they don't get that desired return, they would take their funds elsewhere to get it. Just like you would choose a bank with a 4% interest rate on a savings account over a bank with a 3% interest rate. That is, if investors invested in the bank but didn't get the same return they could have gotten elsewhere, they would have lost out on the opportunity of earning that higher return. It would not be a monetary loss in an accounting sense, but it would be a loss of opportunity. When thinking of our alternatives, it is important not to get too hung up on just numbers or just the monetary side of a decision. At one point in my life, I owned a few rental properties. When getting my taxes back from my tax preparer, he said, "Looks like you earned a nice little profit from the rental properties." I was a bit surprised, but it caused me to reflect on all that had happened the previous year. I had to turn over several of the units, which each time required organizing repairs and showing the properties. I had to deal with tenants who would not pay on time. Most importantly, however, I had two tenants get into a fight. This happened to take place on my birthday, when we had some friends in town to celebrate. Their daughter happens to have the same birthday. We went to the local amusement park, but rather than spending time with everybody, I spent the day on the phone working out issues with the tenants. After looking at the supposed profit, and thinking about all of the opportunities I lost, and the stress I gained, I realized my supposed profit wasn't worth it. And that was just in consideration of my time. There were other opportunity costs I faced with owning rental properties. And these are similar to what all entrepreneurs and businesses face. Similarly to the bank situation, I had financial capital invested in the rental properties. I could have had that financial capital invested somewhere else, perhaps in the stock market, or in bonds, or simply in a savings account, and it would have been earning a return, and without the headache. So whether the decision is big or small, it's important to consider opportunity costs when making it. Let's leave with considerations of opportunity costs in our own lives. You have obviously made the decision to take college classes. What are you giving up to do that? Be sure to think about what you are giving up, not what you are gaining. Opportunity costs are about the costs, not the benefits. Hopefully the benefits outweigh the costs, or else you wouldn't be doing it. Now let's dig a little deeper. Back when I was young, and perhaps this is the case for many of you, online education was not an option. How did the advent of online education change the opportunity cost of earning a college degree? Do you have to be at a specific place at a specific time? Do you have to wait for class to start? Do you have to battle traffic to get to class? Do you have to take time off from work to take the class? Think about that as you work through the course material on opportunity costs. This has been an Econ Moment with Dr. Greg Evans.